Hello and welcome to my Fitbit Sense review. I'm going to talk quickly because Amazon have a 10-minute limit. What I'll cover is accuracy, the watch interface, the phone app, and then I'll give you my summary. Let's go straight into heart rate tracking accuracy. First go comparing against the chest strap. The Fitbit doesn't do well. You can see the Fitbit in purple, but I've given it a few more goes. Here I'm wearing it on the inside of my wrist, and there's a hiccup at the end. Let's see if we can get it even better. The manual says to try wearing it a little higher when doing exercise. Now I'm wearing it halfway up my forearm on the inside. It tracks really well to the low cardio zone. Struggles to hit the highest heart rates, but this is a really good showing, and it's repeatable. So it tracks like this all the time I'm wearing it in this position. It does pretty well when you find out where it's best to wear it. For everyday use, it tracks perfectly at the wrist, but if you think you're going to hit those higher heart rates, I'd do as the manual says and wear it a bit higher. Here's some inappropriate statistics demonstrating that it does quite well. And now let's go straight on to GPS accuracy. I can't find anything telling me whether it uses other satellite systems. Doesn't matter. Here, under the bridge, it does fine. Locking back on quickly. Won't happen all the time, but in general it tracks as well as any other watch. The green is the Fitbit and the blue is the Garmin. Going along the side of these tall buildings, the Fitbit does really well. It's in red. Let's move on to sleep tracking accuracy. And this is the sleep tracking report. It correlates very well with my waking times. If we compare to the Garmin, it looks pretty similar. The Garmin helps me down for a little more sleep, but deep sleep, REM sleep, and light sleep all demonstrate similar times. If we look at steps now, from a walk from St. Paul's to Bermondsey, we can see that it correlates well with other devices. There's always variation at the end of the day, but for individual walks, it seems spot on. If we look at elevation tracking, this is where things seem to go a little bit awry. Here I have a digital terrain map generated by LiDAR, which stands for Light Detection and Ranging. It's made of 50 centimetre tiles with a relative error of plus or minus 5 centimetres, which is pretty amazing. I modified the track points to be along the centre of the cycle path, and I used a digital surface map for this as it shows all the vegetation and buildings. I recorded from the digital terrain map. Over this short stretch, the elevation is exaggerated on the slide due to the scales. I put a more realistic scale at the bottom. It isn't a mountainous route, but it does show the differences in elevation. As you can see, the Fitbit seems to track the elevation changes, but it really exaggerates them. The elevation map from the Strava digital elevation model and the Garmin are the most accurate. On a short hill, the Fitbit reaches the final elevation correctly, but the overall elevation gain is too much. Now let's go back to a Fitbit strength, electrocardiogram function or the ECG function. For more details, please see the text of my review. This is what the report looks like. It has correctly identified normal sinus rhythm. You can see P waves, which is normal atrial depolarization, so I clearly don't have atrial fibrillation. I've got slightly biphasic T waves, which is T wave is the repolarization of the heart muscle, and the biphasic nature probably means nothing here. Here's a quick breakdown of the ECG trace to go with the text of my review. The P wave is where it all starts. It represents depolarization of two of the chambers of the heart, the atria. Depolarization basically means generation of an electrical signal that causes the heart muscle to contract and pump blood. It all begins with the sinoatrial node in the right atrium, spreads till it reaches the atrioventricular node, and then it's conducted into the ventricles, causing them to depolarize, which is the QRS part of this trace. As I said before, the T wave is repolarization. And just to remind you, the ventricles are the main pumping chambers of the heart. The last label on this slide is the RR interval, and that's the time between beats, and you can work out the heart rate from this. As I say, please see the text of my review for more information. Now let's look at another metric that the Fitbit tracks, and that's your cardio fitness estimate, which is the same as your VO2 max, which is your maximal oxygen consumption when undertaking exercise. The fitter you are, the higher it is. It correlates well with my Garmin watch, which you can see on the right, and the Fitbit on the left, and the Garmin watch correlated well with my Microsoft Band. So I have 3 devices that essentially agree. I'm rather pleased with that. Let's have a quick look at the on-watch software. I have the Oxygen Sats watch face, which you need to get that function. You can set it to wake on the double tap. If you tap the home screen, it cycles through your day, showing your heart rate, steps, move minutes, etc. Swipe left, you get quick settings like always on display and screen wake settings. And then you can swipe right for applications and exercise modes. To go back, you can use the side button. I struggle in this video, but I promise it's easy when it's on your wrist. And I figured out the swipe action to go back. Start at the very edge of the screen, finger off the screen on the bezel, and swipe left to right across the middle of the screen, and then it works much more easily. It's a great screen. Bugs are really blocked because it's an AMOLED screen. You can see all the apps here, and it's got excellent contrast. In a minute, I'm going to just quickly show you how to change the watch strap. Here, I'm just going to show you, just set your screen setting to dim. That's great for everyday use. It prolongs the battery life. A word on battery life, it's as Fitbit advertises, really excellent. I don't have to charge it every day. I can rely on it to have battery when I need it. Changing the watch straps, that's really easy. Just push the latch towards the strap and pull the strap out. I didn't think this would be secure looking at it, but it really is. It's excellent. And I'm going to fit a red watch strap because that looks better. A note on wearing this with the watch straps, they're a little unconventional. It folds over then under itself and can pinch the skin when you put it on, but otherwise once it's on, it's super comfortable. It looks really good. Let's move on to the phone. You start off faced with widgets. I'm going to click straight away on the health metrics, and that shows you quite a few metrics here. Now, unfortunately, I'm not sure whether this health metrics dashboard is included in the phone app without the Fitbit Premium subscription. Fitbit aren't clear on, I don't know. Anyway, looking at these other widgets, you can see stress management, and you can click throughout the app, you can click on the learn more parts, and it will tell you all about the metric it's showing you. If we look at the sleep tracking widget, you can see all the details you get given here. Again, you can click more if you learn more if you need to know more. And this is something that's advanced sleep metrics are said to be under the Fitbit Premium subscription. So I'm not quite clear what you'll lose once the free trial ends. Here's the exercise tab, and you can scroll through your exercise and see what impact that had on your day. The other things you can access through the app are the food tracking and the ECG reports where you can export PDF. I'm going to move on to the summary because of time constraints, and you can see I've given it 4 stars. It's a really excellent, accurate and feature-packed activity tracker with only a few hiccups, which I hope will be ironed out in firmware updates, as happens with other watches from other manufacturers. The pros are, it has an excellent display, a polished and easy to use on watch software. It's got great GPS accuracy, great step tracking accuracy. It's got good heart rate tracking, and also got great sleep tracking. It's got an extensive feature set, and the ECG analysis works surprisingly well. Also, another thing I noticed, great tips and motivational alerts come up, and I didn't think these would be useful, but actually I really like them. The cons are an overly sensitive or inaccurate altimeter, and the vagueness around Fitbit Premium is where this has really lost its star. And a minor point is the heart rate tracking is slow to reach peak heart rate. Please, if you find this review helpful, mark it as helpful on the Amazon site and see the text of my review for more in-depth analysis.